Hey everyone, welcome to the Hornet King channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys a day in the life with the Hornet King. Showing you guys two separate bald-faced hornet nest removals, plus I'll be bringing a European hornet nest home to my house using my probe lens and getting some amazing macro shots of the inner workings of the comb and inner colony of a European hornet nest. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to be showing you guys how I dispose of my nest by feeding them to the girls, plus a couple relocations and updates on the nests I've already relocated in the previous weeks. Check it out. I'm the Hornet King, and I removed some incredible and insane wasp nests. Hey everyone, welcome to a day in the life with the Hornet King. So this first removal that I went to go do was in Lancaster City. Wedged between these two buildings on the second story was a bald-faced hornet colony that had pressed against a window. So like my nest that I relocated here to my barn window where you could see on the inside of it, that's exactly what this looked like. So on the inside, it looked like layers of the onion and you could see all the comb and everything inside. This client, they were a little uneasy about having them on the window even though it looked cool, so they asked me to remove it. So these are just some shots of what the nest looked like. It was really cool up there. I was a little nervous. You can kind of tell with the camera shake. Where you see right where my butt is the power line going to that house. It was well insulated. I made sure I inspected it really good. There was no breaks in the insulation. But it was still just a little unnerving, that being like right at my back, and I was just I was ready to be real quick at getting this removed. So I just took a bag up there and wrapped the bag around the nest and pulled it down really fast and put it in my cooler. And my cooler has some ice in it and things to keep the nest cool, so that way the larvae and the adults inside the bag don't die. You can see here I got my fancy Ghostbusters backpack vacuum. And it has a clear canister on it, so you can see the swirling adults inside of it now as the centrifugal force inside of the vacuum from the cyclonic suction action. They just spin around in there and get really dizzy. So I vacuum up all the adults from around that window. Alright, so on to removal number 2. This was another bald-faced hornet nest. It was up on a client's deck.
So how long have you been doing this?
I think 3.5 years.
Make them all angry. They get angry pretty quickly.
No idea if I'm getting this shot or not. Look at them all coming out the entrance.
Yeah. They feel the vibration.
I don't even know what they feel. I haven't even done anything yet. Plug the hole with a little bit of paper towel and put the plastic bag up around it and swoop it down. I do get a lot of comments when I do my larger nests, like later in the season, why I don't do this method for bagging nests. And it's really just because most of them are in bushes or they're really large, and it's kind of hard to get the entire nest in a bag without having a bunch of swarming happening. So it's actually easier just to vacuum the adults from the entranceway and get as many vacuums as I can, and then just kind of tearing the nest down after I remove most of the adults. So you see they just kind of just fly around here. The greatest thing about this backpack vacuum being battery operated, I don't have to like string cables all over the place, and I don't have to carry the vacuum up the ladder. Most of you guys know from my removal videos where I'm carrying the handheld vacuum up a ladder. So this is really nice. It's hands-free vacuuming other than the wand. And the wand is actually extendable, which is really cool. So I just stood there and I vacuumed up. I don't know, show you the entire thing because unfortunately about this vacuum, it doesn't have like super strong suction. So this is one vacuum that you commenters can say that is a really weak vacuum, because in all reality it kind of is a weak vacuum. But if you know where to put the vacuum nozzle, you get the wasp to fly into it anyway, and that's kind of what I do. I usually just sit the nozzle kind of around where the entranceway used to be, and they fly right into it. I only sat here for like maybe 5 minutes. You can see them all spinning around inside the canister there. At this time of year, there's probably maybe 50 adults in a colony, so I didn't have to wait too long there. So once I started packing things up, there was only one forager that I had to go get, so I just extended the wand and tried to get it from the ground.
Come on back. Got her.
Yay!
Got her with the hat. Personal vendetta. I know you probably wouldn't have cared, but I have a hard time leaving when I still see what's flying past.
I know. He was great, except he left a bug here.
Yeah, right.
All right, so the two bald-faced hornet colonies I wanted to relocate, and I mainly wanted to relocate them to have them side by side. I wanted to try this again with having multiple bald-faced hornet colonies side by side, and this year I wanted to try it with queens. So last year I tried it, and most of the queens had either got vacuumed up or what have you, so I was putting up new comb next to an existing colony that had one queen. This year I wanted to try it where I had multiple queens from different colonies within one whole structure to see if they would build it as one collective unit or if they would leave it two separate nests since there was two separate queens.
Queen of this colony. The other queen for this colony is on the other side of the comb. We have doubled the chances of these two colonies commingling and being a single unit with queens. It should be interesting.
So I wanted to give you guys some close-up shots of what it looks like inside the cells of a European hornet nest. So these larvae are weaving silk from halfway down into the cells and working it up through. So if you take notice, right here, the surrounding cells are bare and brown, but the cells inside where the larvae are white, kind of a white film to them. And that's because as they grow, they start building that silk up through the cells. People often ask, what is that white bubbly like stuff that's on the nest? And that's the silk cap that's woven by the larvae themselves when they're ready to go through their metamorphosis state and turn into an adult wasp. So that's what this larva here is doing. She's weaving her silk cap because she's getting ready to go into her metamorphosis to become an adult wasp. This is an adult wasp that had just recently hatched after I brought the nest home. She was not on the nest when I brought it, but by the time I got here, she was out crawling around on the comb. So the scraping sound that you're hearing is live and synced properly with this video. And it is made by these larvae scraping their mandibles down the cell wall that they're in. And that scraping is to get the attention of the adult workers to either feed them or to collect their waste fluid. So the adults feed the larvae, and then the larvae would digest that meat, and then they will regurgitate a waste fluid that the adults will eat. The adults cannot eat solid food themselves. So this is how they get the attention of the adults to either feed them or to collect their waste, is by doing this scraping motion with their mandibles down the cell wall. They move between these different motions. They either swirl around inside the cell, or they do the scraping, or they're weaving the silk. This is an adult wasp that's obviously starting to hatch. So she had been in her cell. She was a larva when she sealed off her silk cap, and now she's emerging as an adult wasp that now has 6 legs, 2 antennae, fully mature mouth parts, mandibles, eyes, simple eyes on the very top of her head, compound eyes on the side of her head, and she knows how to do all of it. She knew exactly what to do. She knew to start chewing her way out of the cell. Once she gets out of the cell, she knows to go right to the larva, so that way she can get her fluid. It's really, really wild stuff. This is how I'm getting these shots. I'm using my Sony a7S III with a probe lens. The probe lens has LED lights at the very tip of it, plus I have other lights on shining around it too, because when you're this close to getting basically macro shots, you need a lot of light. So I have a lot of light going. Plus I have my big microphone there, and I'm getting as much of the sound as I possibly can. So this is how I'm able to get these really, really close-up shots. And I'm within like millimeters from the comb here to be able to get these shots. So she continues to chew and chew and chew, and she's chewing away that silk cap that she laid there herself. And she starts trying to squeeze her way out. Now this took about probably 20 minutes for her to get out. I didn't want to show the whole thing because it's just the same thing over and over again. But here she finally made her way out. So she'll start taking her legs and she'll start moving her wings around. Again, this is the very first time she's ever had wings or legs or anything. All she's ever known is scraping the side of a cell and being fed by an adult. And now she is an adult, and she responds to the larva scraping the sides of the cell. So this is an example of what a larva looks like when she scrapes the side of the cell and an adult comes up to tend to her. She regurgitates a fluid when she senses that an adult is near her, and then the adult would drink it up and then probably leave a little bit of food for her. Well, now she thinks there's food on her belly, so she starts trying to chew at it, thinking that she's getting food, which she can't see, so she doesn't know it's not there. But that's how it works. Here's another larva scraping, and I'm going to pull her out so you can see what she looks like, her whole body. And they are slightly attached at the very bottom. When the queen lays an egg inside the cell at the very bottom, she adheres it with a type of paste, and that keeps the egg from falling out. Mind you, the cells are upside down. The opening of the cell are facing downward, so gravity could let them fall out if the queen did not stick the egg to the inside of the cell. So they do have a little bit of adhesion to the bottom of the cell, so it takes a little bit of force to pull them out. So you'll see here, this adult worker who just recently hatched is sort of going around to the larva to get some fluid. She's been in that cell for a couple weeks. Now she needs her sustenance. So she's found one that regurgitated some fluid, and she's drinking it up. I was glad to be able to get this shot. I've talked about this in so many videos, but I never really got a clear shot of an adult getting the fluid from a larva. Now she's cleaning the larva, which is pretty cool. She's got that motherly instinct. So just to show you what it looks like underneath one of these silk caps, I wanted to show you guys a pupating adult. And that's a larva, really, that's starting to undergo some of her changes. So she looks like a hornet. She's got the hornet eyes going. She's got the antennae folded over, partial mandibles. And that's what she looks like as she's forming. So it's time to go feed the chickens the first nest of 2021. Everybody's building up there. Morning, Ginger. You guys are having your first treat of 2021. First treat. Are you ready? Bring it over here, Ginger. That's a good girl, Giblet.
Pigeons in laying an egg, I guess. Oh, Henny. Becoming aggressive about your larva. You're still over here, look. Let's go look at the other nest while we're at it. Wow, these guys are doing awesome. Alright, these girls are a little bit sensitive right now, so I don't want to get too close, but I don't really see any new envelope yet. Give it some time. Quiet, Ginger. This colony might be on its way out. I've not seen new building on it at all. I have seen the queen's in there still, but there hasn't really been any new construction. So it makes me think that something's affected the colony. There's the queen there. So that one might be soon done. These guys are doing okay. Looks like they've been adding some new envelope on there. Queen's been up here. That's pretty exciting. combs still exposed, so I try to give them a bit of wide berth.
So I get asked over and over and over again on all of my videos for me to show the inside of my vacuum, which I've done in many videos, but I've never done it with this particular vacuum. So I will oblige you guys and show you guys the inside of this vacuum. So luckily with this canister being clear, you can see what's being sucked up inside of it. Not being a huge canister, I can't do quite the inside removals that I normally do. But this is what the powder looks like after being chopped up by the inside of the vacuum.